The universe arose 13.8 billion years ago. On one of the planets which formed after the Big Bang, there were conditions for the emergence of the first molecule capable of self-reproduction, the great replicant, RNA. The appearance of an isolated cavity around it allowed the new organism to launch complex chemical reactions, both for nutrition and for creating a basic protection of genetic material. The new cell started integrating with others, which led to the formation of a more complex organism with a nucleus and mitochondria, its most important energy stations. Hiding the genetic material in the nucleus, the cell became capable of reproduction. A long process of evolution and adaptation of multicellular organisms was launched. Hundreds of millions of years have led to the emergence of completely amazing organisms. For example, the Greenland shark, with its average life expectancy of almost 300 years. Planarians and hydras with their ability to super regeneration. When cutting hydras across into several parts, each part restores a head and leg while retaining the original polarity. The whole organism can be fully restored from 1/15 of its part. A sand mole, with its immunity to cancer and skin insensitivity to burns and acid. A tardigrade, capable of surviving under extreme conditions, for example, at a temperature from -271 to +100 degrees Celsius. Water flea Daphnia pulex. Its number of genes exceeds the human one by 5,000. A rare flower, Paris japonica, whose genome consists of 149 billion base pairs and is 50 times larger in size than the human genome. An immortal jellyfish, Teratopsis nutricola, with an endless cycle of transformation into a polyp and vice versa. And the most complex system, consisting of about 30 trillion cells, viruses, and microorganisms. A human, capable of changing the world around him. It is commonly believed that a human is the crown of evolution, the eternal master of the planet. But to whom, in fact, does it belong? If more than 99% of the biomass is green plants, and, for example, in some regions, the biomass of ordinary termites and ants exceeds the human biomass. If we imagine that the universe arose just 24 hours ago, it turns out that the human, Homo sapiens, have lived in the world for only 2.5 seconds. This path started tens of thousands of years ago, when our distant ancestors had to learn how to use the simplest tools of labor for survival, and then had to tame the fire. 9,000 years ago, people were able to start engaging in primitive agriculture. They exchanged the products of their labor for the labor products of other groups, or they used beautiful shells, pebbles, or, for example, the teeth of sperm whales. In ancient times, someone believed that gold was created by a unique combination of water and sun, and assigned it a high value. People began to create simple products out of it. Then they were replaced by minted gold coins, and centuries later were replaced by banknotes, a conditional equivalent of the same gold. It turns out that the capitalization of gold, which has reached $7.5 trillion, in fact is provided with an ancient faith in its value. In the last century, the following convention appeared: electronic money, the equivalent of the gold equivalent. Thus, the love of our ancestors to the shiny shells has transformed through many millennia into an unshakable faith in the value of ones and zeros on the bank account. Will it always be so, or will the human race reconsider its value system? After all, if you think of it, the pursuit of ephemeral phantoms and figures drags our short life into a terrible routine. But neither these figures nor the gold bars locked in an inaccessible safe do not create, do not invent anything. They cannot change the world. In pursuit of seemingly important things, we forget about the really important ones. Our life itself, its intenseness and duration is the core value. Time with family and friends, traveling, new emotions, and impressions are of fundamental importance. Life is sacred. It is, so to speak, the supreme value to which all other values are subject. Albert Einstein. That's why now the mankind is on the verge of creating a new value. Vitacoin, precious asset based on the development of elaborations and technologies for a life with no diseases. The efficient prolongation of life is not a fantasy or a miracle. It is a gradual victory, step by step, over cancer, apoplectic attack, cardiovascular and neurodegenerative diseases. Many scientists are developing anti-cancer drugs or anti-HIV drugs, but it is necessary to involve a much larger number of people than the engaged in clinical research and development at the moment, so that it will bear fruit. But the real success in this matter is possible only upon the condition that people associate with each other. Now, people live on average 70 to 75 years, and this is a very short period of time. Our goal is to achieve the possibility of a long life with no diseases by joint efforts. For this, first, with the help of science, we will learn to prolong life for 5 years, then for 15 years, then for 50 years. There are many technologies and developments that will affect the increase in life expectancy in the future. More and more new discoveries show the possibility of a human to live as long as he wants. And we are not alone here. The well-known hypothesis of supersymmetry predicts an infinite life even for stars, having reached certain volumes. Due to the dark energy, they can remain eternally young. Now the economy is arranged so that 70% of people in the world live on less than $10 a day, which is enough only for the basic needs. It is time for us to wake up and understand that the world system does not value life. It uses it as a tool for making profit. Pharmaceutical companies, instead of controlling the first cause, get people hooked on a medical needle, and states bleed dry the working age population, in fact, forgetting about them on retirement. And all this happens because a long life outside the process of making money is unprofitable for anyone. Having stopped working career, the person becomes the used material and ballast for the system. Who is more valuable for the society? A helpless old man on retirement or his young, able-bodied son? That is why we must understand that only we ourselves are responsible for our life, its duration, its quality. And our way lies through a series of small victories over fatal illnesses. Only together we can go this way. Global synergy of people many times allowed us to create great projects. The Large Hadron Collider, the Hubble Telescope, the ISS. Suffice it to recall the creation and development of Wikipedia with the participation of a huge number of people. We managed to make information and knowledge accessible to everyone. This might be impossible to imagine 20 to 30 years ago. Just imagine that every person on Earth will spend 1% of his income on developing a life prolongation medicine. In this case, in our time, we will already be able to both prolong significantly the active life of every person and completely defeat aging and death. The population of the planet will grow, and due to modern agricultural innovations and the gene technologies development, we expect a multiple increase in productivity and efficiency of crop acreage, as well as the accelerated growth of animal products. The human race will stop unreasonably throwing up to 40% of the produced food products away, and free areas will become actively and rationally inhabited, which will lead to a more even distribution of the world population. One of our first tasks is to understand which of the theories of aging is correct, and then to concentrate the resources on its research. There are about 50 theories of aging. Here are just a few of them: the mitochondrial theory, the immunological theory, the cumulative mutations theory, the telomeric theory of aging, the theory of apoptosis, and, for example, the elevation theory of aging. According to this hypothesis, the hypothalamus and pituitary play a leading role in both evolution and aging. Due to a single control mechanism, they determine the patterns of age-related changes in various homeostatic systems of the body. If just a while ago, in the field of aging studies, they talked only about geroprotectors, drugs and substances that can increase lifespan of only animals. But now, even in retrospect to a person, we can talk about the therapeutic extent of life expectancy as a reality. Science is developing faster and faster, and even now, the recent research on gene therapy, stem cells, and senescent cells provides an incredible number of possibilities for the development of drugs and life extension technologies. Epigenetics is a relatively new field of genetics, which is called one of the most important branches of biology that have emerged since the discovery of DNA. It was widely thought that the set of genes with which we were born irreversibly determines our life. However, it is well known now that genes themselves need instructions for identifying the necessary actions and the time of their implementation. That is, genes can be on and off, and we can also achieve their larger or lesser expression under the influence of various external factors. DNA can be called a code that the body uses according to the instructions for building and rebuilding itself, and epigenetics is a science that studies these processes. Scientists and researchers can make mistakes. All theories are subject to verification because the history is full of examples of delusions and failures. Say elementary questions of hygiene and epidemiology, which began to draw attention in the 19th century and caused a decrease in mortality and an increase in life expectancy, or a huge amount of lost investments in doubtful companies, where under the guise of new technologies, people pursued their own interests, but not the progress of science. Though, in our field, the issue of trust is a key question, and this trust must be earned. Separate, isolated projects will not be able to withstand competition, and with a probability of 95% will be closed. The association will allow increasing the chance of success significantly. It is necessary to create a structure for optimizing and speeding up the research in these areas. A system that not only makes possible the association of people, allowing them to make their contribution, but also creates the foundation for a scientific solution to the life prolongation problem. The Global Science Center World Science Foundation. It will be half decentralized, half centralized, and will unite many fields of research and development under one roof: biotechnology, medicine and clinical research, nanotechnology, IT technology, artificial intelligence, blockchain, quantum computing, quantum biology, big data, sociology and psychology, robotic engineering, zoology and botany, systems biology, development of human intelligence. Do not expect pharmaceutical companies and states to do this for us. Only by uniting people, ideas, and means, the chance of prolonging a human active life can be significantly increased. Take a path starting from investing and enlightenment work to building the Global Research Center and achieving the possibility of a long life with no diseases with us. Once evolution led to the emergence of a human capable of changing the world around him. Whether it stopped, or we can see a new species after Homo sapiens, Homo Deus, which can master the evolution. Progress leads us to a technological singularity, and soon the main role in the world will belong to artificial intelligence. It is the development of artificial intelligence and self-replicating machines, the integration of a man with computers, or a significant abrupt increase in the human brain capacity due to biotechnology that will lead us to irreversible technological evolution, which will provide no room for a human. But if we change, evolve ourselves, become smarter and more functional than any machines, we will be able to defeat them. In the future, we will see incredible changes: autonomous robot assistants, synthesis of artificial power sources, traveling to other stellar systems and their colonization, thermonuclear reactor, deep development of human IQ. Information technology and big data processing will help us to collect a large layer of information about people and identify abnormalities in the body processes. Bioelectronics, which allows medical nanorobots to travel through our body, instantly detecting and curing any pathologies. Microbiome and metabolome diagnosis, along with gene information, allowing to diagnose disorders in the body processes and eliminating them in early stages. Regenerative medicine, allowing to incubate organs for transplantation without rejection risks, and much more. All this is already waiting for us beyond the horizon. Therefore, it is so important to unite people by a general idea, to put the life on the pedestal of the main human value, where it should be. The Vitacoin.net project gives us this opportunity. Here, everyone can convert their knowledge, skills, and opportunities into extending their lives, the lives of their relatives, and the whole human race. No one will save our lives for us, and only we ourselves are responsible for it. Vitacoin.net. Only life matters.